If you think you can't make rice and peas, this video is going to change your mind. Grab your cutting board, your sharp knife, your big spoon, your measuring cups. Grab your peas, your rice, some cooking oil, some salt, unsalted butter, some green onions, garlic powder, some cloves, and some spicy peppers. First, grab your pot and set your stove to medium heat. You're gonna wait about 2 minutes for the pot to heat up, and you're gonna grab your tablespoon and add 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Let the oil heat up for a bit and grab 1 green onion. We're gonna clean and cut that. I like to cut mine in half, but you can leave it as a whole. It also depends on the size of your pot. Now, when you drop it into the oil, it's going to start splashing everywhere, so it's better to cover it. It's also going to give you an amazing smell when you remove the lid later. Grab your peas, and after frying your green onion for about 2 minutes or to your liking, you're going to add your peas to your pot. I'm using 1.5 cups because that's all I had left, but you can add 2 cups if you like a lot of peas in your rice. Next, we're going to add some water. I'm adding 3 cups here, but follow the instructions on the bag of rice that you have for a better result, because not all rice are created equal. I added 1 more cup of water because I decided to make more rice than I originally thought I would. Then you're gonna grab your salt. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt, but feel free to add however much you want. Start with less and taste it to see if you need to add more. Next, you're gonna add your garlic powder. I'm adding half a teaspoon here. Then you're gonna grab your spicy peppers. You only need 1, and grab your cloves. And what you're gonna do is that, how do I explain this to you? English is my 3rd language, y'all. You're just gonna poke them into the spicy pepper, like stick the cloves to the peppers. Hopefully that makes sense. Well, you have the visuals, so you know exactly what to do. Once you're done with that, you're gonna give it a rinse and then drop it into the pot. Cover and let it come to a boil. While the water is boiling, you're gonna rinse your rice. Grab a big bowl and use your cup to measure how much rice you're adding. I added 3 cups of rice, and this is the rice I'm using today. Like I mentioned earlier, you're gonna rinse your rice. And I don't like to just add water to it. I like to go in and really, like I'm showing you here, make sure I thoroughly wash it, because you don't know where it's been. And of course it's gonna get cooked, but still you want to make sure that you thoroughly wash it. Once you're done, you're gonna drain the water. If this is hard for you, you can use a strainer, but I'm pretty used to it, so I could just do it like that. And you're gonna rinse it 1 more time. I rinse it twice. Feel free to do whatever you want. I always say it's your food, you do what you want, but this is the way I do it. Just repeat the same process, and then your rice will be washed. Once the water comes to a boil, hold on, don't mind the steam blowing up. I'm just making some chicken over there. Anyways, once the water comes to a boil, you're just gonna add your rice. You can grab it with your hands, but if the hot water is splashing on you, you can grab your big spoon and use that instead. As you can see, you have more control, and the hot water is not splashing directly on your hands. The spoon probably won't grab everything, or it's just this funny looking bowl. That's the cause of it. But feel free to use your hands to grab the last bit of it, and use your spoon to mix the rice and the peas together. And you don't need to go crazy with it. Then what you're gonna do, you're gonna grab a little bit of water and taste it to see if you need to adjust the seasonings. First thing you want to adjust is the salt, so whatever fits your taste, go with that. I always talk about how it's important to try cooking without following exact measurements, because that's really how you build confidence in the kitchen. If you don't have exact measurements, you should be able to cook yourself a meal. If you're just getting started, it's okay to follow recipe word for word, but over time, it's a good idea to try and cook something without following the exact recipe, because that's going to help you out a lot. Mix everything to distribute the salt, and then cover to let it cook. After about 8 minutes, the water should dry out, so you're going to remove the lid. And what we're going to do now is, look at that. We're going to lower the heat to low What am I saying? And you're gonna grab some parchment paper, or you can grab some thin foil. I did not have any thin foil, so I'm gonna be using parchment paper. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna mix. Well, it's not mixing. You're just gonna try and bring the rice in the middle, like you're making a mountain like this, because you don't want why is this so hard? You don't want everything to stick to the bottom of the pot. This pot is kind of big for the amount of rice I'm making, so don't mind that. But once you're done doing that, you're gonna grab your parchment paper and you're gonna grab a piece big enough to cover your rice. Then you're gonna add the lid back on. Then you're just gonna let it cook on low heat for about 20 minutes. Hold on, I forgot to add the butter, so let's do that. I'm adding about 1 tablespoon of butter, and that should do it. And now just gonna put the lid back on and let it cook undisturbed for 20 minutes. Once it's been 20 minutes, you're gonna remove the lid, remove the parchment paper or thin foil depending on what you used, and you're gonna grab your spoon. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna fluff out the rice just like this. As you can see, it's already looking pretty nice, so we're almost done. The next step is to grab some to taste to see if it's cooked to your liking, and that's gonna determine what you do next. Oh, I forgot to show you that it's actually been 20 minutes, so here you go. I was pretty satisfied with how it tasted, so I'm just gonna cover it and let it cook on low for 10 minutes without the parchment paper. Once it's been 20 minutes, I'm just gonna remove the lid, and then see, not 20, it's been 10 minutes. Goodness. I'm just gonna remove it from the heat, and I'm gonna remove the lid as well. That way it can cool down. Once the rice has cooled down a bit, I'm gonna grab my meal can't even speak anymore. I'm gonna grab my meal prep container because I usually meal prep for the week. It was still a little hot, but as you can see, the rice is gorgeous. It was also delicious, so making rice is as simple as that. As you're putting your rice into the meal prep container, you want to remember that green onion? Yeah, you want to remove that, and whatever else, like if you find a piece of clove in the rice as well, remove that. They don't taste the best, but they give your food really, really good taste. Now, some people really like the crunchy rice at the bottom of the pot. Well, that's up to you. Keep it, throw it away. I don't know. You do you. And that's how you make rice on the stovetop. If this video was helpful, click the like button below and subscribe so you don't miss another video from me. Bye for now.